Dark Satellite Media.
Check. 1, 2.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Welcome to Red River number, I think we're up to 61.
Never remember.
It doesn't,
Red River that's what it's called?
Yeah.
Red River Podcast.
You gotta send me some stuff to promote it, man, once we're done with all this.
No doubt. I'll send you the right one too, because apparently there's a right wing
Separatist
movement in Canada that has a Red River podcast. So I'll make sure you get the right one. We just found that out.
Yeah, that is like the weirdest,
cool.
the weirdest thing ever. Like people, like I was, we have like the Facebook group with everyone, and we talk like a bunch of movies and music. And I started seeing all these people from Canada, trying to join the group, and I'm like clicking on their profile, and they're all like separatists, like angry, like I don't know, like conservative. No. And I was just like, "Yo, what's going on here?" And
I
then
thought we were blowing up in another market, but
yeah, I thought maybe...
Can't you guys like add a number to your name or just Red River, rockers or something to make it like different, or is it like so established you don't want to do that?
I mean, it's
well, they're more popular than us, so I'm actually thinking it could help us.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
If anything,
rub off.
Yeah, if anything, we're winning. But we named it after Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, so that's why that random name, Red River Podcast.
Gotcha.
That was the radio station in that movie.
But that's the one where they made chili, right? Or where the
yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, man. So this show basically is we kind of like to get to know the artist. They're like a superhero, their origin story, their influences, things that make them tick. You know what I mean? And talk about what we like as far as music and films and stuff like that. Well-rounded, but again, thank you for taking the time. How you doing out there in LA right now, man? With all the
I'm good, man. I've been pretty much off. We were supposed to start our tour in March. It was like March 18th or something. We were getting ready to head there, and I think everything shut down like around March 20th or something. So it was like, we were like, we had to keep going. You know what I mean? We were like, we're going to do this, even though I knew what was going on. I'm like, how the heck are we going to be flying to Nashville right now? They're going to shut the whole country down any day. I'm going to be stuck there. Luckily, it all happened before, and it was one of those things where we kind of predicted it was going to happen because we kind of knew something was going on. But then everything shut down, and now it's looking like we're all music pretty much stuck until 2021.
That's what I'm saying,
which is pretty crazy. So I'm chilling, man. I've been doing the lawn, becoming an arborist, getting bird seed and bird feeders. And all kinds of crazy stuff. I play a lot of video games too, but I've even, I've got more time than I can fill with video games right now.
How are you with Blades of Steel?
That's some old shit.
Sorry. That's how I haven't played it in a minute, so that's I want to.
That sounds old.
Chris has always been a gamer.
Yeah, we've been playing games forever.
But it's timing wise. I mean, the album came out the 27th, right?
Yeah, that's the other thing.
You guys were right up in it.
Everything was tour. We had a whole new stage set design too that was different than everything we had last year, because we pretty much built the stage everyone saw last year that we did the whole tour on when we were recording the album, and the album was supposed to come out in 2019, but just there were so many different little things that happened along the way that kept pushing it. So we just said, you know what, let's not take the pressure off. We'll do it in 2020. No biggie. So we redesigned the stage set and everything to kind of go along with this new push, because we'd already done a year with the new stage set or whatever. And then it all just completely fell apart. And now we're here.
The record is like super, super different, man. I really like it. I think it's like super dark. I was listening to it the whole day today, and I got to say, like the song, In Between it's called, right? or the in between.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the in between.
Yeah, man, it's like I love that guitar tone a lot. Like it reminded me, like I'm listening to it, thinking like like halfway from like the Deftones, but also like Primal Scream, Motley Crue. I remember when I would hear that like I was like listening to that shit, and I'm a guitar player too, and so the mixture of the ugly sound that makes, which I love. We're such fans of like Dissonant and stuff like that, and then Maria's vocals are just fucking great, man. There's a lot of really good standout songs on this record. So how are you feeling about the record? And I know unfortunately you can't promote it, but I mean you must be super proud of it.
Yeah, so it basically came out it was supposed to come out. We're on tour, right, like you guys said, and now we're basically like, do we put it out or do we just sit on it? And we just decided, with everything that's going on and everyone being at home and music being such a big thing for people, especially with, in hard times, I guess, we just felt like it doesn't really matter what's going to happen with it. We just need to put it out, and we'll be playing it next year. We're going to just pretend like we had a year for everyone to listen to it and get ready for it. I mean, as of right now, we're not planning on trying to record something else, but it's just a weird way for it to all come out. But to answer your question, yeah, we were really stoked on it and excited for everyone to hear it, because I do feel like it was like almost like a heavier return and just a different record than our last couple ones,
I love the covers too, man. Excellent choices all. You got Mazzy Star, Steve Miller Band. Like, how'd you guys come about, and Queen obviously, but pick those particular tracks?
I got to attribute all of those to Maria. The Steve Miller one was kind of like a thing where we'd written that song, that music that you're hearing with that song was written by itself before any cover was discussed. We just had this like musical idea, and I thought it could be a really awesome song. And Maria and I did it together at her studio, but we were like listening to it, and I started going like, time keeps on slipping. And she was like, wait a minute. And she started singing that, and she started singing along with it, and she's like, that is so sick. I love this so much. She was so into it. And I was like, dude, we should take this great original piece and make it a cover where we basically don't get any money for it, and it's somebody else, you know what I mean? But she was like adamant. And going back now, it's super cool, the fact that it is not anything to do musically like the original. It kind of makes it interesting. And as far as the We Will Rock You song, that was another Maria idea that happened right off the bat. She was super pumped about the movie at the time that we recorded it. That movie was huge, and we've always loved the song, but I was immediately like, no way can we do this song. It's too big of a song. Everyone's going to be like critiquing it. There's no way we could ever do it better than Queen did it. There's just no reason for us to even do this. And with the movie being out, it's just a bad idea. Like, no. And she was like, what if we got Taylor Momsen and Lizzie Hale and I to each sing a verse and da 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 da. And I was like, well, if that happened, that would be cool. But I'm thinking too, like, okay, cool, but good luck getting that to happen, because there's no way all those girls are going to agree to this. And she called them up and they agreed to do it, man. And then it became this like, wow, this is a big epic moment on the album, and who knows what's going to happen with that song in the future, because we really haven't even put any promotion behind it yet, and we're talking video stuff, maybe all three of them. And
that could be in a movie trailer. I could
intro music or something for wrestlers, or I don't know. But we're pumped on it, man. And the Mazzy Star, that was again Maria's idea. All the covers were pretty much Maria's idea. She loves that, and she's always wanted to sing it. And we've always had like a really slow kind of outro to all of our albums,
right,
historically. And so it just felt like the perfect thing to do there.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense for sure.
When you look at your band too and the albums, man, like because I've known you so long from the jump, and so much like different directions each time, as far as choices you guys make, or changing up the sounds and keeping it fresh. And I mean, you got a long history.
Yeah, it's true, man. That's kind of been our thing. I mean, I guess because I think when we started, back in 2007, I knew that metalcore was happening and hot. Maria wasn't really thinking like that at all. She was just thinking, I want to be in a band, I want to make music. And we kind of just rushed that album out. We had our band, we were excited, and we'd written all those songs, up to the point of, getting the deal and recording the album. And then after that happened and we got signed, then it was like, okay, now what do we really want to do? And that's why The Dream was such an experimental, different from the first one, and very much more musical and poppy sounding. And, then we kind of pulled it back a little bit. It's just been like a left and right thing, but it all, I think the coolest thing about In This Moment, and a lot of it's to do with Maria. She's such a passionate, vocalist and leader that she drives it with her energy and passion. And if she feels good about something, it's going to go. We're going to like push hard for it. And she's going to sing at her best. And, so I kind of like, since the first couple albums, I've gradually kind of deferred to her direction, cause I want her to shine because she's the reason the whole thing is blowing up. You know what I mean? I think that was a turning point for the band too. When Jeff and Blake left and we were kind of like, what are we going to do? At that point, I had made up my mind too, that I was going to try to create a platform for Maria to shine. And I'm going to go right to the top with her and it's going to be perfect. You know what I mean? And it's been working good that way. And, she varies in her, I want to be heavy. I want to be this. And my job has generally always been to keep the heavy edge within this moment, no matter how much she may want to stray away from that. But it's been real natural, man. And our working relationship has gotten a lot better over the course of all the different albums and all the different sounds that we're doing. And, I think this one's pretty heavy too, comparatively.
I think she really shines on this one. Another song that I wanted to bring up, which I thought was pretty cool, was Holy Man. Really cool riff. Definitely like the way she like hops along that riff that you have, and then that just nice open chorus. And then you do like some really cool like it's kind of like leading notes, like towards the end, and that was definitely another one of those standout tracks. How did that song come about?
That song came about in the studio. It was the main big riff you hear was from our producer Kane. Okay. We work with Kane and Kevin Shirko. They're a father-son team.
Oh wow!
And we've normally worked with just Kevin only, and Kane's been there helping and he's written songs with us since the beginning of working with Kevin. But on this album, Kevin decided we were going to do a tag team with Kevin and Kane. So at certain times, I was in one room working with Kane on guitars and stuff like that, and Maria's in the other room with Kevin, and we're switching back and forth and stuff like that. But Kane had the main, riff idea, and we just started developing it from there, and Maria started scatting stuff over it. We came up with a cool chorus, and then we also kind of, with this album, we've been having this struggle internally with wanting to be more like a more band-like, because we're like playing a lot of live shows. We want to be able to cut into like a jam, or if we're playing a song that we want a certain part of the song, maybe we could cut loose and, just jam and hold one part for a while, and she can talk to the crowd, riled up, and, free feeling it.
Sure.
But with the way we work with our lights, our production, everything, we've been running with the click track since the very beginning. Plus we have a lot of keys and backing things that are in the tracks, the stems that play with us. So we're kind of chained to that. So to get to my point, with this new album, we were kind of wanting to try to bring more of a live feel into the songs and try to, just get it feeling more band-like and natural, and less electronical in a way. So that in turn made us have more parts like the bridge of Holy Man, where it cuts into that kind of Sabbathy guitar thing, and it's got a neat solo, and the ending and stuff like that. We're really looking to try to add that kind of stuff in as much as we could throughout the album to give it more of a feel. And we're still, one of these days we might just be able to hire a full, big, gigantic band, have a keyboard player, some background vocalists, and not ever have to play to a click, but right now we still do.
Yeah, you guys came a long way. Your production, man, you guys definitely turn it out now, man.
We had somebody in the group mention playing a show with you guys at Trash Bar in Brooklyn.
I was there.
God, I remember it.
Do you?
I remember it.
You know what my memory of this is? Jeff and I rode in one car.
Yeah.
And they were, I don't know, I guess you were pulling a rider or probably something. And, this is post 9/11. I couldn't remember. We didn't know like which tunnel you could take in with it.
No.
And we picked the wrong one. And I'm in a neon with Jeff. And I remember Chris being, let me get this straight. The two guys from New York are in a car by themselves. And you fucked this up.
That's hilarious. I remember that. Those early years, man, and the crazy like drive that we had. I can't believe the stuff that we did and all the places we played. I would never do that now, man. You know what I mean? It's just the moment in time.
That was a trip.
That's the beauty.
We were crazy. We wanted it.
You definitely did, man. Let's talk like going back, like your origin, if you will. You're originally from Kansas, correct? I got that.
Yeah.
Big town, big little city in there, or?
Topeka, Kansas is the capital,
Okay.
but it's a pretty boring town, man. My whole main goal of my whole childhood was to get out of Kansas, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever eaten at Taco Tico?
Dude, I love Taco Tico. And there's no, I saw Taco Tico maybe 7 years ago when we were on tour in Nebraska. There was one at a mall. But Taco Tico doesn't exist. I don't see that anymore, man. I love Taco Tico, dude.
I'm getting my Nardwar on. Don't worry about me.
They had those taco burgers, dude. They were so good.
Oh man.
Yo, I'm just such a big Stern fan, and anytime Richard talks, he brings up Taco Tico, so that's why I brought
He
it.
does, dude.
Yeah.
I love Richard Christie too, and he's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, as a young man out there, what bit you on the music bug? Like, what's your music memory that set it off?
My music memory that started it all off was Kiss, hearing Kiss on the radio and then seeing Kiss in one of those, remember those CD clubs where there was actually a tape club, I'm pretty old, where you could spend $3 or buy one tape and you get 50 of them or something.
Yeah, man.
I remember seeing Kiss in there and a picture of them with the makeup on,
Sure.
but this was way after the makeup was off when I discovered them. But I associated the song I was hearing, which was Heaven's on Fire, with the makeup look, and it immediately was oh my God, this is so cool. These guys look like that, and they're singing this cool song. And then I just started going from there, man. And I went and saw Kiss on the Asylum tour, and I remember coming back from the concert, going to school the next day with the shirt on, walking around all cool, and me and all my buddies were like, we're going to start a band. All right, I'm going to play guitar, you're going to play bass, you play drums, right? Yeah, okay. That's how it started, man. And it took a while for everyone to even learn how to play anything, and
Sure.
some of the people that were there were never played again, but I managed to keep it going and describe the whole den. And I loved all of it, all of the metal, from glam metal to the thrash, I loved all of it. So I was really into all that different stuff. And
That was me, man, for
that's
sure.
That's what made me want to get out of Kansas too, because I knew there was nothing that was going to happen there,
Did you?
And I was really big into the LA strip scene too. So that kind of made me just want to move to LA, which is why I left Kansas to go
That was
to
the
LA.
shining city on the hill.
Yes.
Calling
Yeah, it was all the rock shit happens there.
Oh yeah, that was the epicenter in that heyday,
Yeah.
Did you ever get a chance to meet Bruce Kulick?
I never met Bruce Kulick. No, I've seen him live though.
Yeah, because
I never did get to meet him.
I know Animalize was his first, I believe, with Kiss.
Well, that was when he first toured. They had actually Mark St. John was playing guitar on that album.
Okay.
But he had some kind of hand problem.
Sam's more of a hot in the shade kind of guy.
Hey, I'm I was 12 when
He's
that
a
record-
youngin'.
Yeah.
He's 4 years younger than me. So.
Yeah, so Hot in the Shade
so-
was the one that I this guy always makes fun of me.
Yeah, we're a little high. I always make funny because you were a big Van Halen dude too, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I remember having a discussion with you with Eddie and
And what did I say?
That's what. Well, Sam, he doesn't understand how powerful the mighty Van Halen was in that heyday. But I think it's because he's a little younger. But how epic it!
I came in on
Even now, I mean, do you like that type of music? Because I don't know, man. It's hard for me to. They just have good songs, man. I love Sammy Hagar just in general too. So I'm partial to his.
Yeah,
stuff,
me, I'm partial to Hagar for sure.
I didn't know you were a Hagar guy.
I was I told you for unlawful carnal knowledge, man.
Chris.
Oh,
I had no
Chris.
idea.
Oh, you're looking at
I
me.
mean, I love rock too, and I love all the Van Halen. But those songs, man, they get me right in the feels, dude. 51, Love Walks In, and Dreams, and all those songs, and Hagar in general too, man. I listen to his Pandora channel quite a bit, and I like a lot of his solo stuff too. He's just a good songwriter, singer.
Good songwriter, great hooks. He brought
great hooks.
Great
yes.
hooks. You hear all those songs on 5150 for sure. Just
dude, Van Halen was so stoked when he came in, and I was just reading something about they were working on some of those songs on 5150, and Valerie Bertinelli was super pumped about it. She was telling Eddie, "That's so good."
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, because just hearing Sammy sing after playing a band with Dave for so long, that was just insane for them. The creativity was just.
I was such a big Dave guy. I guess I was just angry at the time, and it was hard for me to get over. You know what I mean?
Did you boycott?
Yeah.
They were wearing the dumb outfits with the parachute
Van
pants and shit.
bit me in 5th grade, and I wanted to play like Eddie, and I wanted to to have swagger like Dave. You know what I mean? But then as I got older and and listened to Dave's podcast, and when Dave's Unleashed for like 3 hours, I'm like, can you imagine being in a band with that like all the time?
I know, you would be pretty tough to be in a band.
How about this? Yesterday, I'm rewatching The Sopranos just because it's been a while, and yesterday I forgot, but I'm watching the card game, and David Lee Roth is up in there.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Have you guys seen his recent? He just did that. Before all this shit happened, he did a Vegas residency, and there was a lot of videos and stuff of it. Did you guys catch any of that?
Yeah. Yep. Well, initially they were pretty rough, but then I caught one that it sounded like the band dropped it down a key, like because he can't hit those kind of notes, and like adapt it a little bit, and he didn't try to overdo it. Someone must have been like, "Yo, man." You can't do that anymore.
What it is, it's like, YouTube, like people with cameras, like, it's like you're up there and everyone has a bad show. Eventually, and sometimes that's the one.
Some of that footage was hard to watch, man. I mean, he's still awesome and everything, but he was hitting some pretty rough notes.
Yeah. I mean, listen, that if you're a singer, as you get older, you know what I mean?
A lot of them lose it. That's true.
It's an
organ. Those highs.
Yeah.
I'm curious. So from Kansas, you go to the LA Strip. Is that really what you did?
Yeah. I moved to California, and I lived with my uncle for maybe about a year. Bounced around jobs trying to get signed. Basically just trying to meet people to do it. When I first moved out, I had a band that we thought we were going to do it, but everyone ended up bouncing, and
Dead Set.
It never really worked out. No, it wasn't Dead Set. That was years later. I basically spent 3 years out there and nothing happened. And I had this girlfriend. We broke up. It was blah, 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 blah. I moved back to Kansas for a year. And when I was back in Kansas for that year, I like flipped out. I was like, oh my God, what am I doing back here? I have to get back out there. Mm-hmm. I have to do this. So I went back out again, and dude, I didn't get signed till I was 33. You know what I mean? I moved out there when I was 19 or 20, pretty much.
You were working.
So, dude, it took that long to meet Maria, Jeff, and Blake, and put all that stuff together and make all those connections to finally get that connection, that chemistry going. And, I was always looking for somebody to hook my wagon to. Mm-hmm. Not that I couldn't do it myself, but, I'm like looking for talent. You know what I mean? Like who's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I saw that with Maria, man, so.
Yeah, and you guys, and it kind of all clicked at that right time. The MySpace wave, how you guys just, utilize that to your advantage.
We went crazy on that. Yeah, we were one of those first bands that, like, there was other ones that were bigger at doing it than us, but that was a huge part of the interest in us happening and getting our management and our record deal at the time. All of that stuff was coming through MySpace, and I remember I added, 50,000 friends myself, probably of the 100,000 that we added. When we hit 100,000, I remember we were just going in to start recording the first album. Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm never touching this shit ever again. I'm done. I'm never adding another friend for the rest of my life. But it paid off, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that was the tool. And you guys,
that was the tool. Yeah. If you could, like, that, the beginning of social media, the beginning of basically being able to be heard without actually being in the same state as someone, whatever, like back then, like you just like printing up CDs and not even cassettes.
That was such a thing. And the big part of it too, I remember when we were doing it, was you could go to a band's page and there was a music player on their page, and you could listen to the songs, and then you could go down there and comment. So you're looking at their page, and there's just a million comments on these, like, Avenged Sevenfold page. I remember we would go from Avenged Sevenfold to the Deftones, to this band, to Unearth, and we would just go to the comments, and the ones that are right there are the most common first ones, and we just start clicking on add. And all of a sudden, our plays would start going up. We would see people listen to our stuff, and we would get more comments, and it became like this, almost like crack, like you're addicted to getting the comments on your stuff and getting the plays to go up. And
but as a young band too, I'm sorry to interrupt, but like when you go touring, as opposed, like, you can roll up into a small city where no one would have known you before, and now you have at least an audience where, like, they're already familiar with you.
You're absolutely right, man. And now to see where it's come from that to where we are now, which everything is like, it's all social media, man. You don't know most of your stuff about a band from social media.
Yeah,
versus live or whatever.
And now Spotify is like such a huge thing, like bigger than it even was before, which was already big.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how the longer a band plays, the harder it is to pick a set list. How important are those top 5 songs on Spotify for you guys to like making a set list? Do they even factor?
That's a good question, dude. And I'll tell you why. It's an awesome question because to me, that's a huge factor. To Maria, that's not a factor at all. She doesn't care at all what the plays say because she wants to play what she wants to play, and a lot of times she has really great ideas, but sometimes like we're doing our hits, we have all the songs that were singles, but if we don't like the song live or don't like playing it live, the show will just be better if she's into the show. So we do songs like Burn, or we just added a Natural Born Sinner off of one of our records. Mm-hmm. It's an obscure song that was never a single, and it doesn't really go along with this one, and this one is streaming more. But, we got to feel good about what we're doing. We're not robots, And I think too, like, we have enough songs that people want to hear that we can just kind of mix them in and out. And there's the ones like Blood and Whore, mm-hmm. Adrenalize, we kind of have to play those all the time.
Sure.
And that's cool. We like playing those. So
you got to give them what they want to.
You
right?
do, because it's like so like we're all musicians. Brian more of an ex-musician, but like I
got a story with
when I go see a band, I want, like, if I go see Alkaline Trio, I'm gonna want to hear the old stuff. And when you're playing your own music, you're like, oh, you always feel like the new music is the best. So there has to be like a give and take, because when you make that new, I know especially because you just made a great record, and it must be brutal to not be able to play it, but eventually you will. And that's what it is, man. When you have those new songs, you're like, I can't wait to play these out for people and see the reaction.
And Maria's planning that stuff while we're doing them in the studio. She's talking about show stuff happening while we're working on the song. Oh, this part. And she always wants to play like every song we have on the new album right when we go start touring again too. And I'm of the class of like Kiss, like give them what they want. I remember when Iron Maiden did that tour a few years back where
we were all there.
Play the old stuff. yeah, we all know that. So that was like the most horrible thing ever. Yeah. I always bring that up. Like you gotta play the songs people want to hear. You make it different for them and add some new spice in here and there. But the big ones, it'd be a shame, not to do it.
I took my nephew to that show, the Iron Maiden. He was a big, I think, I can't remember the opening act there. Bullet for My Valentine.
Oh, yeah.
He was into that. That was his wheelhouse. And I was like, yo, man, wait till you hear Aces High. Then you'll forget about whatever. And then like one song after another. Yeah. And I didn't get the memo. I had no idea going in. And I'm looking everywhere and some dude had a sign that said, play some old shit.
Yeah.
And Bruce called for it up, and they passed it up front, and he ripped it in half. And I was like, oh, well, I guess that's going to be.
Well, because by the time they got to like, it was a matter of life and death. By the time they got to like song 7 or 8, I was like, I think they're going to play the whole album. It was like that scene in European Vacation, because I went with my friend Dave. And they started playing the new record. He's like, Dad, I think he's going to pork her. And I'm like sitting there thinking like, nah, they'll probably just play a few new songs. He's like, no, Dad, I think he's going to pork her. And then by like 8th song, I'm like, yep, definitely going to pork her. Right?
Yeah, you're ready to leave at that point, man.
Yeah. That was a good album too. It just wasn't what I was expecting.
Yeah, and that's
you just can't do that. People go to hear the songs that they love to hear and they get into. You know what I mean?
Especially when your fan base is older. They hired a babysitter. It was a lot of work. It wasn't like, we're all old guys at this Maiden show here. Come on.
This was their one night besides Christmas and New Year's. This was their one night.
Yeah, I took my wife out. We went to Sizzler. We went to the Maiden show.
So you're kicking around, man, and the band starts going, and from there, like, what was the scene like? Because you said you were there for like 10 years. Like, how did you see the scene change?
Gosh. That's a good question, man. When I first went out there, it was more like grunge had taken over, and Deftones and new metal and all that stuff was going on. Limp Bizkit was really big. And, Maria's original thing she wanted to start doing was like a Deftones-y type thing. I remember we did a band called Dying Star. Jeff was in it too.
I still got the CD.
And, you know, it was cool, but it just didn't take off. And really what I saw happening was the new metal went into the metalcore, and bands like Bullet for My Valentine, Under It Dies Today, All That Remains, Shadows Fall, Killswitch Engage, all these bands were popping off with stuff. And I knew it was super duper hot, you know, and I remember bringing to Maria's house, I brought her a Bleeding Through album, Killswitch Engage, the first one, Il Nino, and a bunch of stuff to show her how we could combine like the heavy stuff with the singing. And she hated everything, but she loved one of the Killswitch songs. She was playing it over and over and over and over and over, and just loved the way the intro was. I think it was that one that goes. I forget which one it is on the first album.
Is it Last Serenade? Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay,
yes, that's it. That's it. It has the big,
the big chorus.
Yeah, the big key part at the beginning. She loved it so much, and that was like, she's like, I think we can do something like this. So I did kind of like trick her into like doing metalcore, because our first album, we were known as metalcore, and it is kind of a metalcore album. We have the kind of Iron Maiden harmony stuff in the parts and the breakdowns and, you know, all that stuff. So that's kind of what I saw happening, was the scene was metalcore. And in order to break in, I felt like we had to be kind of on the scene, but there was no girls that were singing and screaming and doing the same kind of thing as Killswitch in those bands. So I felt like there was a window for us to get in there. And it works, man.
You guys
it worked.
I
think that was a big part of it.
The head of the curve on when the quote unquote female fronted boom that
aside
was,
from like Arch Enemy, that's about it, really.
Yeah. No,
and also another thing too, that a good reason why you notice the drastic shift of sound from the first album to the second is because of that. Because the first album we wrote it kind of to get into the metalcore scene, and it worked, but that really wasn't who Maria was, and we weren't really that either. We were still trying to figure out who the heck we were as a band. Mm-hmm. And I think The Dream is another kind of reflex of that. And then with A Star-Crossed Wasteland, you're getting more and more into kind of what we are. But Blood is really the combination of the heavy and Maria's style, you know, coming to kind of the perfect combination, I guess.
Yeah, that's cool. Because, like, I mean, you know, coming from like Langan and I, who are like failed musicians, it's interesting to see someone like you that became successful. But it's such a strange business because, like, you know, it changes a lot of like the fads and stuff. But you guys still manage to write stuff that like, I feel like you gain new fans like every year with every record, which is super hard to do. But I think that's the longevity. I think that's what you need to do. You need like, I saw Weezer like, you know, 2 years ago, and like, I love the first two records like every other idiot. But when they play a song off Pinkerton, me and my girlfriend go crazy. Then they play a song from like 2019, and the people in front of us were losing their mind, you know. So I get it. I get how you're able to be successful, and I guess that's great, you know, to be inclusive and to write these things, and you still challenge yourself, you know. Like I said, going back to.
But I feel like, too, what you're saying, the key to all of that is, and with the bands that are doing it, you're doing it for so long, you got to write stuff that you feel, you know what I mean? It can't just be like, I am writing another hit song that will be on the radio, because there are bands like that, and they're playing. But the weird thing about our band is, because we've done what we wanted to do, changed our sound, it's been different every album, and searching and building our fan base from the first album till now, we have a big base that follows us wherever we go. We sell out more venues, more seats than bands that have 10 number one songs. Yeah. They can't, they're opening for us. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm just saying the reason that is because we're our own band, and we write our own music that sounds like us. So when you hear in this moment, a lot of times you can tell that's in this moment. It sounds like us. Mm-hmm. Maria has her own sound. It's like, that goes a long way to a band having that kind of lasting power. And there's lots of examples of that, from Deftones to freaking Pantera, like you said, Weezer. All these bands they're not just pumping out the same song over and over and over and over and over and over and over. They're growing as artists and musicians, and their fans are along for the journey, kind of thing.
Yeah,
you know?
And the fans give them wiggle room, you know, like to experiment with certain things. You know, it's like,
exactly, they follow along. They like it. Some like it, some don't, but they follow along. We still get comments like, "Oh, we'll put out a new thing," and somebody will be like, "Man, I really wish you guys would go back to the first album sound where you were really good." And it's like, yeah, dude, but nobody bought that.
Yeah.
You know, where were you?
Right.
You know, where were you then? Where were you and your 4,000 friends filling up the room because they weren't there, you know? And just, it's like, we got to grow and just
So
do our thing, you know?
That's an interesting thing too, because the bigger you get, you know, social media, like the criticism, like, do you, me personally, I just wouldn't even read the comments, you know, like as you guys grew with social media, like how hard is it to avoid, you know, criticism? Because you'll get 10 people that love the record on a thread and then you'll get 2 that hate it. And I feel like those are the 2 that sometimes are hard not to focus on.
It can be so hard to not focus on the negatives, but that's what it is. And the thing is, the more successful you are, this is something I've noticed, the more hatred you get. And you can almost use the amount of hatred that you're getting as a barometer of your success. Because if people aren't hating you, then no one's talking about you. So it's kind of cool in that sense. And when we get like 1 million comments and we'll be looking through, oh, great job. And then one will say, you guys suck and sound like shit and blah, 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 something horrible. And then, you know, 30 more comments are great. And then there's one down there that's another horrible. It's just the ratio of horrible to good is so skewed to the good. And you have to just turn that off. Like Maria doesn't really look at it because it does affect her. I look at it sometimes, but not often. Like Travis will go through and search for stuff. But I think we've all kind of learned, you know, it doesn't matter what they say, man. You know, we have our people that love us and everyone's going to say something. And the more people that are talking crap passionately, that means your band's popular and you're doing something right.
When they first started, I was on the Blabbermouth message board days religiously. I'm ready to fucking pop a cap.
Yeah.
Anybody.
He was like our guy. Like we had a couple of guys that would come in and defend us and stuff, you know.
You knocking on people's door.
The thing that bothered me the most would be like, oh, these guys just, you know, got it given to them kind of a thing, or because they came out, and it's like, no, these dudes were out, you know, in the rider van, you know, sleeping in the cold, doing it. You have no fucking idea how not easy it is living on $10 a day or whatever the per diem.
No.
You know, like fuck you.
No, and even now, man, we're still like we're super grateful to be in the position now that we can actually have a life and pay our bills and, you know, take care of our family and stuff. Yeah. From playing music, because that's another thing that's like a 1 in a million, you know, where we were when we started as a signed, successful professional band, the first 4 albums, you know, we were broke every day, every time we toured. And that was just what it was.
Yeah, I mean, now you can sit back, you look at your career, man, and like I know growing up you were a big Priest fan, and you end up doing like, you know, a song with Rob Halford's on your album. Yeah, I mean, like it's dreams come true.
What a guy, what a sweetie, man. You know, the first one was Jakey Lee doing that solo on.
Oh hell yeah!
On Flood. I was just having him on the record was the coolest fucking thing in the whole universe. But then, yeah, Rob Halford having that happen, that was like. We did the video with him and stuff, man, and just
what an honor!
What an honor! And he's such a sweet person, man. He just makes you just want to love him. He's just great, in every way. He's one of those guys that makes you like, I love that band, and I'm so happy I love that band. Hell yeah!
Oh,
like,
he was
fuck
a
that
champion
man. Those guys
for
are
you
dicks.
guys. Yeah.
He's the shit. Yeah.
Yeah, he seems amazing and still putting out great work. I thought Firepower was one.
Dude,
right? How good was that
album?
Best,
so good.
I think best since Painkiller, in my opinion. But
I agree. I would agree with that. Yeah.
You know, and the basis for Heavy Metal Parking Lot, the greatest 15-minute documentary of all time.
Jump his bones.
Did you guys see that? What was that movie from the Bay Area thrash? Documentary out right now.
Murder in the Front Row.
Murder in the Front Row. Yeah. Did you guys see that?
Oh man, how great was that?
Awesome. Yeah.
That was the shit. I wore out Get Thrashed, so I was ready for a new one. And I love that they focus a lot on Kirk Hammett, because as a kid, when I was a guitar player, he was my guy. You know, like I wanted to fucking, like when I first heard The Thing That Should Not Be, like I didn't know what a whammy bar was. I was like, who is this guy making his guitar make that sound on fucking, you know, The Thing That Should Not Be, and Eye of the Beholder. So I like the fact that he got so much shine in that documentary, because I feel like, you know, the fact that he teaches Gary Holt how to play guitar. And
that's so crazy. Yeah, me too, man. It was such a blast from the past. I wasn't out here then. I was in Kansas, but you know, that was my kind of those were my guys. You know, that was my youth kind of vibe right there.
Yeah, no doubt. All happening right there, man. But speaking of like, we were just talking about firepower and stuff. What other kind of music you listening to these days, man? I'm curious. What are you listening to in this quarantine era?
In the quarantine, before the quarantine, just on the more current, heavier side, I really liked that new Parkway Drive. I was jamming that quite a bit. And what else? That's probably the coolest new thing. Like Whitechapel, some of that stuff too. But on quarantine, dude, I'm listening to Yacht Rock radio.
Yeah.
Steely Dan radio, and I've listened to Sammy Hagar radio, and also the Ghetto Boys radio. Like I've just been like jamming that stuff nonstop because I'm playing video games, you know, like mostly every day, at least for a few hours, and I always have that music on with the game. I turn the game music off. So
I found like during this era too, like I've been listening to. I was playing a lot less metal, a lot of old soul, funk, James Brown. Like some groove, some rare groove. Like, I don't know. Like I just wanted to take my foot off the gas. For
yeah, because you can't you can't rock out at home too hard. You know, like you can't
bounce off
Dude, Yacht Rock radio is so good. It just every song, it just one after the other is like great.
You know the web series, of course. Then right.
The Yacht Rock web series? No.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm not familiar with that.
Really? Oh, so
no.
Holy shit!
I just heard the name regarding the music and like looked up the channel on Pandora.
Oh, we're gonna send you that because it's about 10, 15 years old, and that's they took like they would take a song and these like kind of like comedians would make like a fake version of how the song came about, and they would have it basically be like 10, 15 minute skits, and they have people playing Hall & Oates. It's the funniest shit. I can't wait to send it to you.
Awesome. That sounds cool. Yeah.
What about I know obviously we all are sitting at home watching a bunch of shit. Binging anything on Netflix or like Amazon?
Yeah, we're definitely watching stuff. I've been loving some of the documentaries. We watched the Jeffrey Epstein thing, which was freaking horrible. What a piece of shit that guy is. And I started getting into The Office. I've never watched The Office before, and we're on like season 6 of that now. Really like that show. Killing Eve is a good show we kind of watch. Space Force, we started watching that. Pretty much everything, dude. We're like looking for stuff constantly on Netflix and Amazon and all that right now.
Yeah, say that's what we're all doing. I watched that Epstein thing, and like I always feel bad when people get like murdered, regardless. And that guy, I was like, I'm like, I guess he just had.
The only reason you're mad he got murdered is because you wanted to see more bad stuff happen to him than that. He deserved so much more than that.
It's just so hard to like fathom. I guess kind of like I'm just thinking like, man, could this guy have been really that out of like? How did he get away with all this shit?
What a piece of shit! And all those people like that were on his defense team that got him off on that thing or whatever. Dude, they were all fucking having sex with these girls, man. That's why they were getting him off. They were like, we got to get this guy off. We can't have this happen. And that's why he's dead too, I think, too. Conspiracy, so. Whatever. Somebody, he had to go or else people like were going to be flushed out.
While we're on the subject of films too, like, a little left turn here, but we were about to do a show. We do these Red River presents where we focus in on, a certain thing like Tarantino movies or Iron Maiden or whatnot. We were about to do a Star Wars one, and then the shit hit the fan. You're a big Star Wars dude, right? If I remember correctly.
Oh yeah, of course.
How do you feel about the newer films?
The new 3
on those?
I don't really dig them that much, honestly. I mean, it's okay. I like the first one. I think the best of the new 3. They're okay, but I don't really rewatch them a lot. I think I like the prequel better than those. As fucked up as that sounds.
Wow, hot take, bold stance.
That is hot take.
Yeah, I mean, I don't dislike them though. I like all Star Wars. I like The Mandalorian a lot too. I thought that was pretty good.
I watched the first episode of that. I thought
was
that
fun.
was sick.
Yeah,
I would get into that.
It took me a minute to realize I was Gina Carano from, MMA. She was. She was like one of the characters.
Alexa, stop. Sorry, guys.
Got the pooches.
Things are going on.
Yeah, man. But
no, it was the fucking Alexa over there fucking started talking to me.
Oh, I thought you had a dog named Alexa first.
Alexa, stop! She's turned on again. Jesus Christ.
Maybe she's.
We got 5 dogs now.
Maybe she's angry that you don't like the new Star Wars.
Do you guys love it or something?
Well, he's
no, it's just my son and he doesn't watch a lot of films, but it's something we do when they come out. So like I enjoy it in that way. But I know like Star Wars.
How old's
fans,
your son?
He's 9 now. Well, he's gonna be 10 soon.
Oh my
dude.
gosh, he's getting big, dude.
I know.
God,
see,
I don't think I've seen you in almost 10 years.
I mean, well,
that's crazy.
I remember like my like whole early life of getting married and whatever I can equate to like in this moment's career like time.
Yeah, I know.
I knew where I was
when you were having your baby and stuff, man. And now it's 9.
When I was about to get married, I was following them around. We were in Jersey, Pennsylvania, or something like that. And I remember, and they asked me like if I would go on. I could like help out on the road. This is really early days.
Yeah.
It's like $10 per diem or whatever. And I'm like, I don't know if I go home and tell my fiance, listen. We're gonna talk.
Hey man, if you would have stuck with us, we could be making like we could probably be paying you around $1,500 a week right now if you're doing something good.
Dude, I had the almost famous moment.
You'd be out of work right now.
I'd be out of work right now. I remember like
no kid, so.
After I'm like they got on the bus and on the van and to head off where they were going, and I remember being on the like pumping gas in my Neon. Yeah. About to go back to Long Island, and the van. It was like an almost famous moment. Yeah. You know, a little tear came on. Like, wow, look at they're off to the next adventure.
Yeah, we're gonna go play something cool, have fun at work later.
But man, I got to thank you too. Like while I got you, and I mean, you guys were so good to me, man. You could taking me along. Like I had so many like moments that stick in my like getting to meet Ian Christie or people or riding on a golf cart at the back of Ozfest and. Just always taking care of me and like I mean
well you guys are fucking awesome, dude. I know you and Eric Linker.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're with them or not, but you guys were always trying to hang out. Greeny, you know what I mean, man? Greeny. And Brownie, dude, Brownie's my boy. But you're welcome anytime, dude. Anytime we come out and you guys want to come, or I'll hook you up, dude.
Dude, they even let me ride on their tour bus from Ohio. I took a Greyhound to Ohio, got on the tour bus. They were on the Rob Zombie and Ozzy tour and ride back to New York where they were playing Madison Square Garden. So, like, as a stage potato, that's what they call me, a stage potato. I'd never heard that term before.
That's so awesome.
You made a little boy's dreams come true.
Yeah.
Yeah, my sister came out there at one point, I think, when you were with
Paige,
us, right?
A couple of times I remember meeting Paige, man.
Yeah, and, she has fond memories of that too. Man.
Those were fun days.
Her son's about the same age her son's the same age as your son.
Crazy.
I think in the level of stage potato, I think number 2 is MSG. So that's number 1 is Wembley. So
Wembley.
You made it to
hit me up.
You made it to number. You made it to number 2.
It's hard to beat Ozzy and Rob Zombie on New Year's Eve or Christmas Eve or whatever. It was like 2 days before Christmas or something.
You guys had
awesome.
that beautiful bus. It had the wrap. They were on the side of it. I mean, you guys could have put me in a little picture of me on the side. Would have been cool.
We were over $100,000 in debt after that tour.
Ooh,
so you know,
because of the bus.
We were getting paid.
Did I do that?
We were getting no. We got paid $800 per show, and that bus was probably like $1,500 a day or something.
Oh, wow.
The workaround.
Yeah, we got wrecked.
Jesus,
that's
Christ.
rough.
But you know what? What a story. I mean, Ozzy, Ozzy's
you got to do what you got to do.
Ozzy's such a big deal to us. I told my friend that we were talking to you, and he just, I mean, you won't remember it, but he like messaged me. He's like, I got a story Chris might remember. So he sends, I met up with Walls of Jericho in South Carolina while they were with Kitty. And in this moment, I was hammered. I ran across the stage, walked head into the crowd and crushed the catering lady's daughter. That's all.
He head walked.
Yeah.
I remember being like so upset at these head walkers.
That's Billy.
Yeah. I remember that.
I didn't think you would, but that's amazing. All right.
Oh man. But yeah, I know your time's limited, Chris,
man.
and I want to thank you again for joining us here, man. It was great fun to catch up with you. And of course I wish you all the best with the album and
Mother. The record's great. Another song I did want to mention real quick that I really liked was the So Above.
As above, so below.
Yes, as above, so below, man. Great production on that. There's a lot of really good songs. So
I think that's going to be our next single too. As above, so
Yeah.
That one will be hitting, and we'll be trying to promote it however we can.
You're gonna shoot. One
I
of
appreciate you guys.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say
One of those
shoot one of those quarantine videos.
No,
yeah.
and this is the thing. I do not want to do that, and I know Maria doesn't want to do that either.
No.
If we do a split skating video or something like that, it's going to have some sort of production value to it. We're going to
you guys are
all do
all
something.
about
There's no way we will
cool
all be
look.
sitting in our fucking
pajamas,
pajamas jamming. It's not going to happen.
Watching the Epstein doc.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But thanks again, Chris. I really appreciate it. And please send
thank you guys, man. It was a lot of fun. And anytime you guys were coming through, or whatever, I'd love to do this again. It was a blast.
Awesome.
That's awesome, man. Send my love and best wishes to Danielle and Maria too. And
I will. She said to say hi, man. You guys take care. Be safe out there, okay?
Absolutely.
Give my love to your wife and kid and everything too, brother.
You got it, dude.
All right, man.
All right, man.
Catch you guys later.
You got it. Bye.
My mother said that I was holy. My father said that I would burn. My mother said I was an angel. My father said that I would turn. So I believed these words and I turned on myself. Cause maybe he's right, maybe I'm worthless. Or maybe he's wrong, and my mother was right. I got a killer in me to give me purpose. I can feel a holy war. I can feel a holy war within. No, I can take a holy war. No, I can take a holy war again. This is what you wanted. I'm gonna bring a little hell. I'm gonna bring a little hell. You just keep wanting more with your blood and your. I'm gonna
dark.